We are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief, and for 4 long years, it didn't happen.
What? I mean, Donald Trump was an apologist for bad behavior by Putin constantly. I mean, anyway, whatever. Let's just ignore the substance of what he said there. You just watched a short clip from a rally that Trump did in Ohio this past weekend. And what's actually getting a lot of attention, aside from the fact that he thinks he's the one who like really holds Putin accountable, is the fact that there were people seen on video holding one finger up, and it looked, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, obviously you look at something like that and it looks very similar to that Hitler salute. And so it was very off-putting for people. But it turns out that that finger signal, different from the finger signal that I would give, is something that QAnon apparently does. And it's supposed to mean where we go one, we go all. So let's take a quick look at the photo that shows them doing it. There's also creepy music in the background while Trump is speaking. We'll get to that in just a moment because there's a purpose for that. But this is what QAnon followers immediately recognized, this one finger salute. And it was apparently a way of recognizing QAnon. So let's go to this tweet where one person says, the crowd at the Trump rally holds up one finger in solidarity with the God Emperor. So of course, QAnon makes it all about themselves. Now, Media Matter also noted that the song played at the rally appeared to have been released under the name WWG1WGA, which is the QAnon slogan, and it stands for where we go one, we go all. So this seems to be a full embrace of QAnon by Donald Trump. And I mean, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, look, it's a tiny bit more confusing than that, but either way, we wind up in the same place, a cul-de-sac of madness. So let me start this way. The first tweet that Anna read you is that said God Emperor is a critic, and he's taking one side in debate. He thinks that it is not QAnon, and he thinks that QAnon's trying to falsely take credit for this phenomenon, but people don't know where this phenomenon is coming from. I'll get to my conclusion on that in a second, but let me go to our QAnon guy. You remember Looney Tunes guy who thinks JFK is gonna get resurrected, and so is his son, and they're actually love Trump, and then they're, whatever else insanity that he believes in. His name is Michael Protzman, and he's a cult leader. Anyway, he wrote afterwards, during the song, we had a powerful moment where our group held out one finger, a call for unity, acknowledgement of our one God, WWGLWGA, and more. It was magical and completely unplanned as many in the crowd joined us in this gesture, a gesture to say to this beautiful man, we're with you. Okay, so that leads to a couple possibilities. One means one and all, and that goofy, QAnon stuff. It could mean you're the only one in our hearts, and we pleasure ourselves to you every day. And so I don't know. Like my least favorite thing is the Nazi salute stuff. Anytime anybody puts their hands up, people say it's a Nazi salute. In this case, no, it's very clear. They're putting one finger up, right? So I don't think that it's that. But in terms of, okay, so how do we get to the cul-de-sac? Who cares? What is it? You think it's gonna make sense? Whether it's QAnon or not QAnon? It's Looney Tune Trump fans, and they probably mean like one race, and when they go to these things, you don't think they hear Trump's point about Putin and think, wow, that seems substantively incorrect, right? No, this is what they hear at a Trump rally. Blah, 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 blah. I don't like brown people. Blah, blah, blah. I don't like black people. Blah, blah, blah.
No, you know what they hear at the Trump rally? First of all, they're entertained. Okay, that's number one. And whether or not you agree with politics being entertaining is totally irrelevant. They enjoy going to these rallies. That's why he has massive attendance at these rallies. But if you listen to the entirety of what he says during these speeches, he talks about issues that bother these voters, right? So these voters feel powerless. I'm not saying they're all powerless, but they feel powerless. They feel like the country has slipped away from them. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Republicans have really doubled down on their crime fear mongering, right? And the way that they do it is obviously to scare people into supporting them. They're not interested in reform. They're not interested in changing the criminal justice system, but they are interested in exploiting the fears of these individuals. So whether we like it or not, that is an effective way of communicating to these people. It's not just a bunch of nonsense. It's stuff that really does hit home for them. It resonates for them. And that is a problem for Democrats. That's a problem for the country, especially when, we're inching ever so closely to civil war. I mean, they've been aching for it. I just saw an interview today where someone in the military during this interview said we're 85% closer to civil war in this country. It's terrifying. And it's because the messages that they hear from Donald Trump might not seem substantive to us, but it seems substantive to them. And they're terrified that the country is being taken from them.
Yeah, Anna, you took the second half of what I was gonna say. So
sorry.
That's okay. There are definitely some Trump supporters and a lot of Trump supporters who like him because he doesn't like the same people they don't like. But it's important to point out that there are a ton of MAGA supporters who hate the establishment and who think that everything is going wrong. Okay, and so the one finger salute that they care most about is the middle finger to the establishment that Donald Trump gives. And so that is the thing that mainstream media and Democratic politicians have not understood because they don't want to understand it because they're the ones receiving the middle finger. So they have said, I hear no evil, I see no evil. No, they're not fascists. No, they're not going to be violent. No, they're semi-fascist. No, they're not. Most are not ultra MAGA. But on top of that, by the way, the establishment did nothing wrong when we have no idea why they're aggrieved. No, we know why they're aggrieved. The establishment has done many, many things wrong. Their lives are not going well. And no matter how much Jake Tapper yells at them that their life is great, it isn't. And that's the core reason why they're angry. But if you think that holding up that one finger salute, whatever that thing is gonna make sense, there's a 0% chance it's gonna make sense. It doesn't mean that the MAGA guys still haven't lost their minds. They have. They're so angry at a legitimate thing, or half of them are, but they didn't get to legitimate answers.
Right, I agree with you on that, 100%. So I think this is a real political problem, not just for Democrats, but for the country. Because whether you like or hate Trump, and I definitely do not like him, he knows how to hit at issues that tend to resonate with people who are predisposed to fear. And it's scary to know the kind of grip he has on them.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.